My name is Rodrigo A. Omadio I, grade 10, Fibonacci. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Ma'am Leda Ortega. This is my performance task in science. The topic I've chosen today is about faults. Well then, I will ask you a question. What is a fault? Well, in geography, a fault is a planar fracture or discontinuity in a volume of rocks across which where there has been a significant displacement as a result of rock mass movements. In other words, a fault is a fracture or zone of fractures between two blocks of rocks. Faults allow these two blocks of rocks to move relative to each other, and these two are the footwall, which is the block of rock below the crust, and the hanging wall, which is the block of crust above the crust, in which I will discuss it more clearer later. A fault is formed in the Earth's crust as a brittle response to stress. Generally, the stress released is caused by the movements of tectonic plates. In short, it is caused by earthquakes. Well, what I have here is a model for how would a fault would look like. Though it how it's currently looking right now is not like the how it would usually look like, since the fault plane here would look like in a much more diagonal phase, but well, ma- materials are lacking. But then I will show you the different parts of a fault, and there are four: footwall, hanging wall, fault plane, and fault trace or fault line. Well, starting with the footwall, the footwall here below, it it is moving up. It is the block of crust that lies on the underside of an inclined fault or of a mineral deposit. In short, this is the block of rocks below the crust which I have said earlier. Meanwhile, the hanging wall is the block of crust that lies above an inclined fault or an ore body. It is the opposite of footwall. In short, it is a block above the crust. Fault trace or fault line. You may not see it in the model right here, but it is here. You would see it here where the slip or the fault plane would be, since this would be the fault plane. The line here, this is the line above the surface. It is a line on the rock surface or the ground that traces a geological fault, or it is a line on the surface which could imply that there is a fault or imply that the area is fault. Is a fault, has a fault. The fault plane, this here is the fault plane, or here, the slip. It is the planar surface along which there is a slip during an earthquake. Here, when there is a fault, it either reverse or normal when it moves. Since I could not show you a clear example, the either block moves up or down the hanging wall, and there the fault plane would appear, and this here. So here is an example of like a normal fault, and in which the hanging wall is moving down while this is moving up. So this part here, the part here, is the slip, or in other words, is the fault plane. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you had a good time and understood the topic. Godspeed, Rodrigo A. Omadio I, signing off.